Great. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Safe Streets Smart Trips information webinar. My name is Diane Hansen, and I'm the Program Director for the Massachusetts Safe Routes to School program. I'm joined by my colleagues Leon, William, and Omar, who are helping in the chat and the Q&A. As a reminder, this webinar is being recorded, and if you do have questions about any of the content, please ask through the Q&A. If you have technical issues, you can ask our panelists through the chat. Okay, so for today, we are going to be talking about an overview of the contest, the submission guidelines, as well as details on the hands-free law, which is a topic for our contest this year, how to submit your video, where to find previous winners' videos. We'll go through the contest prizes as well as some Q&A. I know we'll have time at the end for Q&A for anything that we can't answer in the chat. So the background for the contest, in February earlier this year, the hands-free law was enacted in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So there's a link to the hands-free law that's also in the guidelines. This law seeks to reduce the number of crashes that involve distractions like our phones and GPS. It also talks about laws specific to drivers under 18 and drivers over 18. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But the action for this contest is to create a PSA or a public service announcement that focuses on the hands-free law. So we're asking high school students to create a 30 to 60-second video informing your friends, your family, local members of the community about the new hands-free law. Please keep in mind that videos will be used or could be used in future Massachusetts Department of Transportation campaigns and initiatives. So what are the guidelines for this video? Well, number one, you must be a registered Massachusetts high school student for the current academic year, and that's 2020 to 2021. If you are showing any driving or riding of a bicycle, you must show the use of safety devices. So if you're in a car, you want to be wearing a seatbelt. If you're driving a bike or riding a bike, you want to be wearing a helmet. The only exception to this is when you are showing what not to do. So we do look for that as judges when we're looking through the videos. You must also not mention mascot or the logo. You also do not need to put the logo or the for mascot or Safe Street Smart Trips within the video. In a few slides, we'll show you that we actually impose those logos on the videos, on the winning videos. So please do not put those logos into your videos. This is probably the most important rule, which is do not use any copyrighted music, videos, or images. We do use Shazam and we do check the copyright. A lot of us will recognize a song and your video will be immediately disqualified if you are using copyrighted music. So please use royalty-free images, videos, and no music that is copyrighted. So as we said before, your eligibility, you must be a high school student registered for this year. You can work as an individual or in groups up to 5 students. Please note that the prizes are awarded per video, not per student. So if you do elect to have a team of 5, you will be splitting the winning prize. This is really important too. If you do elect to work with other students, you must strictly follow your school's social distancing guidelines and health and safety precautions for COVID-19. So we will be watching for that as well as we're judging the videos. If you have if you are planning to submit a video, you must have somebody from your school sign the registration form, and an electronic registration or electronic signature is acceptable. So that's completely fine. In the case of a homeschool student, your parent or guardian must also sign the registration form. The videos are due no later than 5 p.m. on Wednesday, November 4th to be eligible. And Videos, again, with commercial music, misspelled words, or foul language, or anything inappropriate as deemed by the selection committee will be disqualified. I do want to point out that every year we're so disappointed when we find misspelled words in videos that are just amazing, but we have to disqualify them because we see misspelled words. So please use, have somebody else, have a friend, a teacher, somebody look through it, ask them to do an edit for you or a detail check to make sure that everything you're doing is spelled correctly, or else the video will be disqualified. So here are the details of the hands-free law. This is also in the guidelines. I believe our colleague Omar is pasting a link to the guidelines on the website, so you can download that. I'm not going to go through all of these points, but I do want to say that you must incorporate at least one of the law details. So you have the details for 18 and over, 18 and under, penalties for violating the law, and then there's also some optional tips for managing distracted driving. So you're welcome to include those as well, but you must have at least one of the mandatory laws in here. So for this year, videos and registration forms must be submitted to the Massachusetts Safe Routes to School Dropbox. The link is included several times throughout the guidelines, and this will take you directly to a folder where you can upload two things. You're going to upload your video and you're going to upload your registration form. We have very specific requirements about how we want you to title your video as well as your registration form. Again, each year we have lots of videos that come into us without a video name, without the student name. So we're always scrambling to figure out whose video belongs to who. So we'd really like to make sure that you follow how we need you to name your videos. The Dropbox will stop accepting submissions at 5 p.m. on November 4th. So that is the cutoff. Please make sure that you are adhering to all the guidelines, including the submission type of the video. So .mov, .m4v, or MP4. And if you are having issues submitting, just make sure you submit maybe a day or so before the guidelines so that we can help you out if you're having a technical issue. This is a copy of the registration form. It is a fillable PDF. Make sure that once you fill it out, you do either print it or save it with all of the details in there. Each year we also do get blank forms sent to us, so make sure you're double checking that. The top part of the form is the school information, so you definitely want to have the principal's name and phone number and email address in there. And then if you're working with a video teacher or somebody else from your school, you can also add their information into the form. Below for the video information, please add the title of your video. Again, that's going to tie your video to the submission form so that we know what video belongs to what students. And you want to make sure that you print, sign, and put your grade level on here. So whether it's 1 student or 5, you all need to be filling out this same form. And again, electronic signature is okay. The link to the Dropbox is included on the form, and we give you all the details about how to name it. So hopefully we have covered all of our bases on this, and you will have your links and how we ask you to name and title the videos all throughout the guidelines of the contest guideline document. So we do have links to all the videos. You can see we talked about not putting MassDOT or the Safe Street Smart Trips logo because we do that afterwards. If you want inspiration, you can certainly come here and look at the previous winners. However, we also know from speaking to several of your high school teachers that you guys have a lot of tremendous creativity and innovation on your own. So we don't want you repeating things that we've seen in previous years. We really want you to come in with fresh eyes and look and get inspiration from the topic of this year's video contest. So prizes, this is the most exciting part. What could you win? Well, we actually have 2 prize categories. We have a freshman, sophomore, and a junior, senior category. So each category could win one of these prizes. So for freshman, sophomore, and junior, senior, the grand prize package is $600 Amazon gift card, as well as some sponsor gifts. For runner-up, freshman, sophomore, and junior, senior, it's a $300 Amazon gift card. And then for honorable mentions, we have sponsor gifts. So that means 6 total prizes are awarded, 3 each for freshman, sophomore, and 3 each for junior, senior. One of the other prizes that we do each year during non-COVID times is when the Moving Together Conference from MassDOT, which is an annual conference where we bring together 500 or 600 transportation professionals into Boston, into a hotel. We show your videos live and present all of the winners with their awards. This year, this MassDOT Moving Together conference will be virtual, so we're not quite sure how we're going to show the videos yet, but they will most likely be seen by all the participants. So stay tuned for more information on that. Let's go on to the next slide, which is Q&A. So as I've been presenting, I'm not sure if any questions have been coming through, but I can look at the Q&A. We haven't asked and answered. Are all last names supposed to be in the file name? No, the answer is no. Hopefully that was, yep, that's right. It would select the person who's assigned leader or the person who's first on the list. So if you're listing 1 through 5, it can be the first name on the list, okay? What other questions do you have? Please ask in the chat. If we have students in mixed grades working together, do they enter the category of the oldest student? I'm going to let you guys decide that. In the past, we've had to decide if the majority of students are in freshman, sophomore category, then I would put it in the freshman, sophomore category. If the majority are in the junior, senior, I would put it in the junior, senior category. Okay, good question. Thank you. What are the sponsor gifts? So that depends each year. A lot of times they're backpacks from Bay State Roads, backpacks, water bottles, sort of things that we can go out and about into the business world and ask for donations. This year is a little tough because we know that our small businesses are having a hard time with COVID. So we can't ever guarantee anything, but we'll do our best to get a really nice group of prizes together from local sponsors. Are students whose parents work for MassDOT allowed to enter? I believe the answer is yes. As long as you are a public high school student enrolled as a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, you are allowed to enter. Great questions, guys. I'm gonna make sure I've marked these answered live. Okay. What else? Do we have any other questions? And my email address, dianehansen@aecom.com, I believe are in the contest guidelines. They're also in your Zoom confirmation for this Zoom webinar. If you have any questions at all during this contest period, you can certainly email them to me. We're answering questions throughout the contest time. We get questions from high school students as well as from teachers and faculty and staff from all the schools. So we're really want to help you guys out and make this a successful contest. Okay, I'm going to keep the Q&A open for a little bit more. I'm going to go on to the last slide. So the Massachusetts Safe Routes to School program is a program for public elementary and middle schools. Though we do run the high school video contest for MassDOT. If you all have any younger siblings in grades K through 8, please let your parents and guardians know to follow us on social media. Make sure your local elementary and middle school is signed up for Safe Routes to School and that they are a school partner. And of course, we'd love all of our high schoolers to also follow us on social media just so that they can keep in touch with us and know what fun programs we're running. You see any other Q&A? Okay. Fantastic. This video will be published online once we get it closed caption. So look out for that within the next week or so. And we wish you the best of luck in your contest. Thank you all for attending. Leon, you can go ahead and stop the recording.